sort of summarize a little bit, right? I mean, Mike and I kind of laid out the current inflation case for sustained inflation, right? I would maybe add as well a decade or more of profound underinvestment in transition energy and material sources, right? Like a massive amount of underinvestment in the development of new oil and gas properties. Nobody wants to burn coal anymore, which is great, but that was a cheap source of abundant energy. And if you look at the current reserves of virtually every energy product nowadays, along with aluminum, copper, nickel, all of these commodities are near record low inventory levels. And there has been no investment. And as you go through the annual reports of the major energy companies, they're all saying we're not investing because under the climate targets, any investments we're going to make in oil and gas will run counter to the objective to hold temperatures to a rise of 1.5% by 2050. So there's these competing cross dynamics. The problem being, yes, we need a sustainable future, and yes, we should be investing in clean tech, but we need to have enough clean tech online in order to be able to replace what we're losing from underinvestment in traditional sources of energy in the meantime, right? So anyways, just to sort of encapsulate, that's kind of the sustained inflation picture. But then Rodrigo laid out some points that might lead you to think that this inflation is actually quite transitory. And by the end of the year, early next year, we could be in a disinflationary environment again, right? Another reason we could be in a disinflationary environment is the Fed is not standing pat here, right? The governments of the world are concerned about the fact that we are seeing these high inflation prints, and they are taking steps to counter it. Central banks look like they're behind the curve. They're going to step in and they're going to raise rates over the next few months. If they raise them too aggressively, maybe that causes the economy to stall, demand to stall. We go into recession and a deflationary environment. Maybe the government institutes price controls or profit controls on companies. I was just reading over the last couple of days, the Washington Post just had an article out about how the Democrats have been polling, and the concept of price caps or corporate profit controls are polling extremely positively. And so, while the Council of Economic Advisors in Washington are not yet advocating for this, and in fact, they're pushing back against it, and I think we would all agree that those policies have a lot of potential problems. These are the types of steps that are being considered. So we're not here to make the case for inflation or for disinflation. We're saying we're now in an environment where all these things are on the table for the first time in decades. And probably we're going to see all of them at some point over the next 10 or 20 years. We're going to see rocking inflation like we are now, maybe even worse and for longer. At the same time, we're going to see major periods of deflation as governments and other dynamics play into this and swamp the inflation dynamic for a period. So like Mike said, we need to prepare for different types of inflation and a lot more volatility in the inflation deflation dynamic.